to activate the pressure points for some common diseases. We have heard about what are the keys, what are the stresses, what are the blockages, but we have to now come to the grassroots level of trying to see how we can treat ourselves. Acupressure is a subject which is quite vast. We conduct regular workshops on this, and the subject matter is so vast that even 7 days residential course from morning 9 to night 10 o'clock is also not sufficient to cover the course. And because of that, we always say that what we are discussing is just that basics of acupressure to create the awareness about it. One more thing, when I'm discussing about the workshop, it reminds me, many a times, people say, we are conducting a training workshop. Do we use the word training workshop? Have you heard of it? In my opinion, we should never say training workshop. We should say awakening workshop. When we go to the circus, what we see the animals. And when you ask the ringmaster says, we have trained the animals. Since yesterday we have been discussing, human beings are above everybody. And when human beings are above everybody, they do not want training, they need awakening. Let us not convert ourselves into animals by using the word training. Let us say awakening workshop or awakening program, not the training workshops. First and foremost, we need to remember whatever we are trying to see and learn over here, and for that, the point which is important is the point below the nose. This is the point which can be very useful for improving your memory, your concentration. This point can be used by the children as well as for the senior citizens who have memory problem, or to improve the memory also this can be used. Not only that, this particular point is even useful for epilepsy, fits. People who suffer from epilepsy, if they activate this pressure point, at that moment of time, they can recover very fast. Even people, when they faint, many times people meet with an accident, they see blood and they faint. Many times people go to the hospitals to meet various people, and in the process, because of the smell, some accidents, some different type of cases, the various tubes which are there floating around the patient, seeing that, we have seen people faint. Many times people go for blood donation, and while donating the blood, they faint. At all such times, any type of fainting, when you press this point, this can help to recover you immediately out of that effect. Because this point goes and stimulates the brain, which in turn helps to activate the energy for revival and survival. And this is a point which can be used for memory technique also. Balancing is one of the most important thing in our life. To maintain a balance of whatever we are doing. And solar plexus, in different languages if we call Nabi, Dharan, these are the places, the navel area, this center part of our body, this part of our body. This is the most important area in our body. Solar plexus helps in maintaining the heat in our body. And heat in our body is one of the most important thing in our life. What happens when our body is completely cold? When our body is completely cold, we are dead. So what we are working towards in our life is to maintain the heat in our body. And the heat in our body is balanced by solar plexus, and solar plexus is connecting to the major digestive system in our body. Any type of stomach disorders, any type of major stomach problems, irritable bowel syndromes, any type of chronic stomach problem, people who we have seen, they may have imbalance of the solar plexus. And solar plexus imbalance can cause chronic diarrhea, indigestion, stomach-related problem, asthma, breathing difficulties. These are the few things which can be there because of imbalance of the solar plexus. I request you to check it up by joining both the hands together and find out if the solar plexus is balanced or no. And in case if you feel that solar plexus is not balanced, you can come up on the stage and within 2 minutes we'll show how to balance the solar plexus. Yeah, here is a case where the solar plexus is not matching. How do we show it? Can we get the camera to focus on this? So it's not visible very clearly, but people who are here, they can see it. So now we join these two lines together, bring it together. Over here, see this is the gap. This is short, this is down. So whichever the side which is short, that we have to correct it. For correcting this, you keep your hand over here, okay? Close your fist and pull it very strong 8 times. Strong. No, it's not good enough, ma. One, as you show it to you, see. Yes. 8 times. Okay, let's see. Now, again we bring it together. Is it matching?
Yeah, matching. Thank you, thank you.
Did you face any of these chronic problems like stomach problem or breathing problem?
Just one operation for 8 years back. That time onwards I am getting this problem. Even though I am having Noni, the motion has gone regularly, but that not matching.
Okay, now it's matching.
Oh, thank you.
So now you know how to match it.
Thank you, Noni, and this program. Thank you for all. Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
We'll take 1 or 2 more cases. Not matching. We bring it over here. The gap is there. Okay. So you also do 8 times. Yes. Okay. Now again we bring it over here, this way. Is matching?
It is matching.
Thank you.
Matching.
Yeah. So what we will do is, we'll not take the time of other people, but when there is a break in between, when there is a when there is a break, that time we'll take up and cure other cases also. No? Our body has got its own energy by which we can heal. And this is what I just wanted to show, how to maintain the balance of solar plexus. And solar plexus balancing is one of the basic thing that if it is maintained, it is the first step towards balancing your energies. What are the effects if the solar plexus is not matching? If the lines don't match, the balancing exercise can bring it, which we have seen it's very, very simple, it can be done. It should be done for at least 14 days every day morning as soon as you get up. Who are the people who are affected by this? It's people who suffer from gastric problem, vomiting problem, severe acidity. At times in train or in bus you are traveling, you have no control how to control this situation of vomiting. At that moment of time, if the solar plexus balancing has been done, it can help immediately bring situation under control, and this has been proved on thousands and thousands of cases. And this is being shown, the reason being it is being shown is because you are a family who believe in maintaining good health and spread the message for good health. Many times people ask, this acupressure points, when we are doing it, should we do it on the left hand or right hand? Which is the side we should do it first? Here, the natural principle of energy is left is the past, right is the present. So if you have a chronic problem which is more than 2 years old, you start doing the pressure points from the left. But if it's a recent problem, you do the pressure points on the right hand. But in any case, you have to do the pressure points both on left as well as the right. As per the Chinese proverb, they say, any mismatch between the left and the right is the cause of imbalance, and any imbalance is the cause of a disease in our body. So we have to balance it and create the balance between the left and the right, match it and correct it, and create the balance in our body. The balancing we have started with, and in the balancing we have seen that whatever the inputs which we are taking, they have to be balanced. We saw whatever the input we take gives the output of energy. And whatever the input we take is very important, and stomach and the solar plexus is the most important area which helps to maintain the heat and generate the energy. Solar plexus and stomach can be treated in a simple word like a fire engine, railway engine, where you put coal. Coal engine earlier we used to have, where you fire coal inside for creating the steam and for creating the movement. Likewise, our stomach is also the same way, where we put in the food for generating the heat. Food takes energy before it becomes the source of energy. But fruit is the only food that gives energy without taking energy. And that is the reason when we are not well, we eat fruit. When we are not well, we eat fruit because that gives instant energy. Again, we cannot say that we should be only living on the fruits because we need to have the balance in our life. The food what we take has to be such that it gives us the energy without taking away our energy for digestion. And that is the reason it is very important on what we eat. It is very important on what we eat and how we eat. What we eat means, today in our food, we find many people taking excess of salt. Any food that comes, they'll first put extra salt on that. And that they will take it. They want to have a lot of pickles. They want to have papad. These are all extra salt and oil. Our normal food is good enough to be digested, but when you add anything extra, that is the first step where you are creating an imbalance. How that imbalance is created is because any extra salt that you take in your food, each molecule of salt that you take extra retains 20 molecules of water in your body, excess. And that is the reason a person who is suffering from high blood pressure, first thing doctor says to cut down on salt, because that much of pressure has to be reduced on the kidney. So excess of salt should be avoided. Many times people say we don't get the taste of the food if we don't have the salt, or we don't have pickle, or we don't have chilies. Fine, you are eating the food for the taste, but that taste is where? On your tongue. And that taste will remain in your tongue for how long? If you like a particular food, can you hold that food in your mouth for 1 hour? No, you are eating the food as it's a process. Whatever the food that you like or whatever the tasty food that you have, you will not be able to hold on for more than a minute in your mouth. You will chew it and swallow it down. And when it goes down, the taste is not there on your tongue. It is for that 60 seconds that taste is there in your mouth. And that 60 seconds of taste which you are adding by taking more pickle, more salt, more chili, your body energy gets depleted for digesting that food. In other words, let me put it, for the 60 second of pleasure, 60 second of taste, your 6 feet body has to work for 6 hours extra to digest that food. Make your choice. Whether you want to enjoy that 60 seconds and make your body suffer for 6 hours. Think when you eat. Look at the food, what you are eating. Always focus on the food, what you are eating. Second thing is, for digestion of the food, we need the support of enzymes. Whatever the food we eat, for it to be able to digest, to be able to be got converted into energy, the liver has to support it. The liver has to support it by producing the enzyme for digestion of the food. Liver is a chemical factory in our body which produces more than 560 enzymes for digestion of the food, and it is instant. It produces instant. But for producing that, it needs to have the contact with the food. It needs to have the contact with the food. How does that contact happen? When you eat the food, before you start eating the food, focus on your food, what you are eating. And as you are eating, keep focusing on the food. Today we are living in a situation of multitasking. Yes, multitasking is good. But in the process of multitasking, what is happening is, while eating food, the most popular thing that we are doing is watching TV. Second popular thing is we are talking on mobile phones. Our thought processes are carried away. There are a lot of stressful thinkings which are there going on in our mind while eating food. And all of us sitting over here, say we are working hard, we are doing the extra activity, working for earning money so that we can live a comfortable life and eat a comfortable food. But when the comfortable food is there in front of you, are you really able to enjoy that food and get converted into energy? Please try to focus on the food. And this is not now. This is being taught to us from generations. In olden days, our grandfathers and all, when they used to sit for eating the food, they used to say prayers before eating the food. That means they were doing Annapurna Upasana. Anna is a food. They were praying the food and then eating the food. And in that process, they used to focus on the food. In Brahmin communities, they take little of each of the food which is served. That is, by touch, they are activating the liver. And in that process, the liver gets a message, what is the food that is going to be digested, required to be digested. Why is it that when we go to the restaurant, we find the food to be more tasty? When you go to the restaurant, you are ordering the food knowing what taste you want to get. And from the time you order the food, the saliva generation has started in your mouth to accept and digest that food. It's a different thing that when the bill comes, that is a different saliva, no? So you are activating your energy for digesting and accepting that food for your body. But at home, many times, after eating the food, if somebody calls up and asks you what you have eaten, you have to pause for a moment and think what you have eaten. And if you are, as a human being, as a human intelligent person, if you are not able to respond immediately, how is your liver going to respond to digest the food? Please imbibe this. One of the precious keys for good health is focus on food while you are eating. And eat the food in a quantity which gives you the energy, not take away your energy. Eat the food, select the food which gives you the energy, not take away your energy. It's very important that we respect the food, and in turn, the food what we take will give us the energy. In case, if we are not able to digest the food for various reasons, what does it cause? It causes acid reflux, acidity. Today we find lots of people suffering from acidity. What are the symptoms of acidity? You get the burning sensation in the chest. You get headaches. Because of acidity, you can get headache on the top part of the head and behind. These are the two areas where you can get headache. acidity is because of the mental stress, and immediately because of that, you start getting neck and shoulder pain. People who are suffering from acidity, they have lack of sleep. Why lack of sleep is? Because the organ responsible for digestion is liver, and liver has got the timings of 1 and 3 a.m. The optimum period of activity for liver is between 1 and 3 a.m. and that is the time the maximum enzymes and the digestion process takes place, and that is why they say you have to be sleeping before 11 o'clock so that your vital organs like liver and lungs is between 3 and 5. People who suffer from asthma, who have asthma problem, they will have more problem between 3 and 5. Restlessness feeling will be more between 3 and 5. People who have a liver problem, they have more restless feeling between 1 and 3 in the morning. These are the organs which gets directly affected, and chronically if you start becoming acidity prone, you will start developing anger. Because liver is the seat of anger, and where there is lack of energy for the liver, it creates more anger within you. Just imagine how the food is creating a cycle of change in your lifestyle. You are not able to focus and concentrate on food, whereby you are creating more acid. More acid means affecting the liver. Affecting the liver means it is causing more anger, and when you have more anger, you start getting isolated in the society. You become indifferent. People do not respect you. They treat you indifferently. The effects of this are not only restricted to that, but when you have more of acidity, you have more joint pains in your body. Your sleeping pattern changes. People who suffer from acidity can be more active only after 9 o'clock in the morning. Up to 9 o'clock, they will become more sluggish. They will become short-tempered. And people who have acidity problem can also get into the problem of ulcers, joint pains, back pain, neck pain, and we get a lot of cases where people come for infertility problem. And infertility problem is also because of increased acidity.